Throughout football history, the world's greatest teams have always been defined by their strikers, the killers in the box, the ones who deliver when it matters most. From Ronaldo Nazario's raw explosiveness to Thierry Henry's elegance, Didier Drogba's power, and Lewandowski's precision. These forwards were not just scorers, they were icons. The modern era has brought us Erling Haaland's brute force, Karim Benzema's renaissance, and Harry Kane's complete forward play. Strikers win games, define legacies, and build dynasties. Which is why the case of Victor Osimhen is so puzzling. Fast, powerful, and lethal in front of goal, Osimhen rose from the bustling streets of Lagos to become one of the most feared strikers in Europe. And yet, despite clubs like Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Juventus, Inter, Madrid, and Barcelona all in need of a true number 9, no one is making the move. Why doesn't anyone want the best striker in the world? If you find yourself enjoying the video at any point in time, please help me out by sharing, liking, or subscribing. In 1998, Lagos, Nigeria, Victor Osimhen was born. Growing up with the ball at his feet, as him and his neighborhood friends ran tirelessly through the streets and dirt fields playing the beautiful game. Vic's family did not have much money, but the passing of his mother at a young age forced him into work at a young age, having to sell water and clean gutters. Yet through all this hardship, young Osimhen still had his love of football, playing daily, often barefoot when he was not working. His ability was always something that was clear to everybody watching. But what set Vic even further apart was his dominant athleticism and commanding presence. It was not long until a local grassroots club, Ultimate Strikers Academy, discovered his talent, giving him a platform along with football boots and proper footballs to elevate his game. After 2 years of honing his craft, Osimhen got a call up to the U17 Nigerian World Cup team, where he would leave Africa for the first time, traveling to Chile. Although in a new environment, Victor Osimhen was there to play football, and play football he did, as he would go on to score 10 goals in 7 games, even scoring against a Brazilian U17 team with the likes of Eder Militao and Rodrigo. Nigeria would go on to beat Mali in the final, and Vic would receive the Golden Boot and the Silver Ball, an award for the second best player at the tournament. Upon his return to Nigeria, his phone would be ringing non-stop with clubs all over Europe wanting his services. Clubs as big as Tottenham and Arsenal were interested. Arsenal were so enamored by the young Nigerian that Arsene Wenger reached out to him personally. However, as big as these clubs were, neither of them could offer what Osimhen wanted, which was game time, ultimately leading to Osimhen signing a pre-agreement with German side Wolfsburg that would have him move once he was 18 years old. Due to the agreement, Osimhen would arrive in Germany in January. However, he would be carrying a shoulder injury that required surgery and kept him out the side for the next 3 months. He would debut for Wolfsburg in the penultimate game of the season, where he came on as a sub playing left wing. The following year was not much better for Vic, as he again struggled with small injuries. His biggest problem in the season, however, was a bout with malaria, which greatly impacted his physical abilities, leading to little game time and another goalless season. After 2 poor seasons in Germany, Wolfsburg decided to loan out their young African striker to Belgium. Still not 100% after his malaria battle, Osimhen failed to impress the likes of top Belgian teams, but still showed enough promise that Sporting Charleroi decided to do the loan. Signing in late August caused him to miss the first few games, but by September he was ready to go as he showed his elite physicality and his monstrous goal pedigree, finishing the season with 20 goals and 4 assists across all comps. The Belgian club would trigger the buy option in the clause, signing Osimhen for around 3.5 million euros. But after his stellar season, the attention of French side Lille was piqued, and they would pay 22.4 million euros to sign the 21-year-old striker. Osimhen would continue his goal-scoring form in Ligue, scoring a brace the first game of the season, and would finish with 13 in the league and 18 in all comps. He showed tremendous athleticism as well as a high IQ with his off-ball movement and a knack for finishing using his dominant right foot, all while being a strong aerial presence. Throughout the 1920 season, Osimhen was the focal point for the Lille attack, but also played as a second striker, showing his commitment for winning. Osimhen finally had a breakout season in a top 5 league, showing he was the real deal. Italian side Napoli decided that they wanted to spend big on their next striker and thought Osimhen would be perfect. However, this deal would not be easy for the major Italian side. Jean-Gerard Benoit Casca, Osimhen's then agent, who had been with him since his move to Wolfsburg, convinced the Nigerian forward to wait for the Premier League and that Italian football would not suit his style of play and he would receive racial abuse from the fans. Napoli was seeking to get Osimhen's signature done early and advised Osimhen that his agent is hurting his ability to further his career. The Italian club eventually introduced another agent, William De Via, who would seal the deal between the clubs. Gennaro Gattuso was the manager of Napoli at the time and was a big piece in convincing Victor to sign. There were also complications between the two clubs. Lille's initial evaluation for Osimhen was 80 million euros, an impossible fee for Napoli. But after many weeks of back and forth between the clubs, a deal for 50 million cash up front and a possible extra 30 million was included through add-ons. After such a big money move, Osimhen had pressure to start performing right away, and although he would score 2 and assist 2 in his first 7 matches, he was still learning the system and getting used to the style of Italian football. Osimhen served as the lone striker with an importance as being a physical target man and to link up with the likes of Insigne, Politano, and Lozano. The next couple months would be tough for the Nigerian striker, battling with a shoulder injury that would force him out for about a month, then missing a few matches through illness as he contracted COVID. And finally, in a freak accident where he fell face first, knocking himself unconscious and receiving a concussion. Upon his return from a very serious health scare, Osimhen looked sharp as he would end the season with 8 goals in his last 12 matches, finishing the season with 10 goals and 3 assists in 24 matches. Osimhen would later go on to say that this season was extremely tough and mentally challenging for him, balancing the pressure from the price tag as well as adapting to the new league all while battling injury. Napoli would fall short of UCL qualification spots, finishing 5th, leading to the sacking of Gattuso and the hiring of Luciano Spalletti. The next season under Spalletti, both Napoli and Osimhen started out on fire. Under Spalletti, Napoli played an extremely attacking brand of football, aggressive pressing with quick short vertical passing. In this system, Osimhen was thriving. His running power and relentlessness was made apparent. Spalletti also used his aerial presence to great effect, making him a goal machine. Although Napoli was known for their tremendous attacking force, their defense was also very tight and did not concede many goals, leading to Napoli going unbeaten in their first 12 games, with the Nigerian number 9 scoring 5 and assisting 2 in the run. However, in November, in a match against Inter Milan, midway through the second half, Osimhen jumped for an aerial challenge and collided headfirst with Inter's Milan Skriniar. His face smashed against Skriniar's head, leading to a facial fracture. It wasn't just a broken nose or cheekbone. He suffered multiple facial fractures and underwent major reconstructive surgery, a long procedure that would include 18 screws put into the face of the African striker. 2 months later, Osimhen would return with a carbon fiber protective mask, which is now iconic and synonymous with the number 9. In Osimhen's time of absence, Napoli would struggle, losing 4 out of their next 8 matches. Osimhen would score 9 more goals on the season, finishing with 14 goals in 27 matches, while Napoli finished 3rd place, good enough for the Champions League. Victor Osimhen's 22-23 season with Napoli was nothing short of legendary. In a year that saw the club lift their first Serie A title since the days of Maradona, Osimhen emerged as the undisputed star, scoring 31 goals in all competitions and winning the Capocannoniere as Italy's top scorer. He dominated defenses with his blistering pace, killer movement, and unmatched aerial power, even while wearing the protective mask from his previous facial injury. Alongside Kavica Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen formed one of Europe's deadliest attacking duos, tearing through Serie A with chemistry, flair, and relentlessness. His goals weren't just frequent, they were historic. A brace in the 5-1 demolition of Juventus, a wonder volley against Roma, and the title-clinching strike against Udinese that sent Napoli into euphoria. More than just a striker, Osimhen had become a symbol of football in Napoli. His 31 goals also broke the record for the most scored by an African-born player in Europe's top-flight leagues. Although his league campaign was tremendous, he still suffered with some injury problems, a hamstring concern that kept him out for a few weeks, and a hip injury that would force him out of UCL knockout match, which would ultimately be the difference in the Italian side's Champions League campaign. All that being said, this season put Osimhen on the map as one of the best strikers in the world. The following season was a sharp contrast to the glory of the year before, marked by setbacks, controversy, and instability both on and off the pitch. After his record-breaking Scudetto campaign, expectations were sky high, but Napoli's collapse as a team, going through 3 different managers, deeply affected Osimhen's form and rhythm. Despite a disrupted season, he still managed 17 goals in all competitions, proving his class and flashes. Injuries were prevalent again, including a reoccurring muscle problem that sidelined him for key stretches of the season, and his relationship with the club grew tense, highlighted by a viral TikTok controversy from Napoli mocking a missed penalty, which sparked outrage and nearly led to legal action. Osimhen's body language changed, less joy, more frustration. Still, in big moments he delivered, clutch goals in the Champions League, moments of individual brilliance that reminded everyone of his ceiling. But the cracks were clear. Napoli finished mid-table, and Osimhen's once blazing connection with teammates like Kvaratskhelia seemed dulled as the season ended. Osimhen made it clear he was ready for a new challenge. His story at Napoli was near its end, not with a bang, but with the feeling of a star outgrowing the chaos around him. The following summer, Osimhen seeks to leave Napoli. After months of tension, stalled talks, and interest from bigger clubs failing to materialize, Galatasaray seized the moment, offering a massive loan fee and guaranteed playing time, and promising to build the team around him. Osimhen had the chance to reset, refocus, and remind everyone of his elite quality. And he delivered. In the Super League, Osimhen was a dominant force. He finished the season with 24 goals and 6 assists in all competitions, helping Galatasaray reclaim the Turkish League title and make a deep run into the UEFA Europa League quarterfinals. His physicality, pace, and aggressive pressing tore apart most Turkish defenses. More than just stats, Osimhen brought a winning mentality, lifting the energy of the squad and quickly becoming a fan favorite in Istanbul. There were flashes of frustration, minor injuries, and moments where his body language hinted at his bigger ambitions. But overall, Osimhen looked rejuvenated. The loan to Galatasaray may not have been the glamorous next step many predicted, but it proved 2 things. Osimhen is still one of the best strikers in the world when fit and motivated, and wherever he plays, he commands attention. Now, all eyes are on whether Galatasaray can buy him outright, or if it was just a brilliant one-season cameo before a massive move back to Europe's elite.